I just look, man. We real official now. You feel me? Welcome everybody to Technically Athletic. We have a truly special guest with us today. I know every person that comes over here, I say, "Yo, this my brother, this my dog." Okay, but this man right here, very special to my heart. Oh, we got Jay in the building with us for this interview because we had to. There was no other
What's
option
up?
for
Special
Jay not to
request.
be a special request by our guest. This brother, this my brother right here. I pretty much lived with him my freshman year. Even though I was in another room, I pretty much lived with him. And
We lived together for basically 4 years.
Yeah, we pretty much lived together for 4
Yeah.
years in college. We had a somewhat of a rivalry that was it got hostile in practice. A lot of
It's
trash
very
talk.
one-sided in my favor.
Yes, it was.
Just throwing that out there.
I have Cape Cod's finest, Robert Dombrowski, Robbie, so many other nicknames that I'm not going to put on this podcast. We got Rob with
Polish
us.
porn star. What is it? The Polish porn king? No, what was it?
We not. Oh, it's too late now. But
We can say it. You know why we can say it, Tyler? Because the man got a mustache. If you're gonna rock the mustache, you gotta accept the bad nickname.
You know, I got nothing to say on that.
Rob, how you been?
And-
First of all,
Just hold on, real quick. For the people that don't know, that was just a bullshit nickname that
yes,
one of our coaches threw out there. So
there's
don't
no
think
story
I'm like some
behind
weirdo.
it.
I'm just saying that.
There's no story behind the nickname. It just happened. Like it's so
Numerous
weird.
nicknames.
Yes,
Dombro,
Yeah.
Yacht Club.
Yacht.
Yep,
Bunch
can't
of-
forget that.
Do you ever been to
Yeah.
a yacht club?
What's that?
Have you ever even been to a yacht club?
Yeah, actually, I have.
Oh, jeez.
Talk that talk.
I'm not a
that
member,
talk
but
now, bro.
I'm not a member, but if you're on Cape, people, just they invite you to shit,
Yeah.
How you been, man? You look good. Your hair flowing, bro. You got the stash now. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I got as you guys know, I got 2 kids now. I got a 21-month-old and I got a 3-month-old. So
Oh man.
keeping me busy, keeping my wife busy. Chelsea, obviously, you guys know Chelsea since pretty much day one.
Shout out Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea. Shout out Chelsea.
How is
But
she? Go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say she just keeps us all in line, and she's the glue, man.
That's beautiful.
Couldn't do it without her. Yeah.
Yeah, how is fatherhood?
It's one of those things that you're just constantly figuring shit out on the fly, every day. And you can be going into it, you can be like, I'm so prepared, but until you're actually doing it, it's just I have no idea what I'm doing, and you're just reacting, But it's awesome, just seeing the growth and my daughter Abby, she's our oldest. She is talking like crazy now and running and just seeing her do all this stuff is just I remember holding you when you literally just all you could do was breathe, and blink.
Man.
And so it's just crazy.
Man,
But it's the best. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's awesome, bro. We gonna catch up. We gonna catch up with you one of these days.
Yeah. You're never off duty. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, got the monitor on him right now.
He pulled out the baby monitor. Everybody.
My goodness, he pulled out the baby monitor for those listening on the audio. All right, Dombrowski. We here to talk about you and your sports career. Personally, the gunslinger. I'ma just say it. You know what I'm saying? Real gunslinger out here. All right, repping out in the Cape.
QB swag.
Dombro,
Yeah.
you was Boston Globe EMAS All-Star in the Catholic Central All-Star. Catholic Central Offensive Player of the Year. So what's up?
I'm just gonna put it out there. The conference I was in was not the strongest competition.
Hey,
Hey, I'm
don't
gonna tell you right now. Yeah,
I'm just putting it out there.
No. Hey, and you know what? Every time I throw people's stats, I've had about 4 interviews now. I throw people's stats and they be like, but I'm like, dog, you was a beast. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I want you to accept that. You really was, man.
You were
I just
better
had to
than
put that
at
out
least
there.
100 people. You are better than at least 100 people. If you think
I don't know
about
what that means, but I'll take it.
If you
I don't
think
know
about
what
it,
that
if you're in
means
a
either.
if you're in a small conference and you're a top player in that conference, you're better than at least 100 people. All those other teams in your conference. You know what I'm saying? Top
Look,
tier.
I'll take it.
Top tier. Even if it's a
Look,
weak
man.
conference, it's still
Look,
top
man.
of something.
Have you always been from the Cape? You was born and raised in the Cape?
No, so I was born in New Hampshire. Shout out Lombard.
Get out of here.
I was actually born in Manchester. Ironically
Are
enough.
you
wow.
serious?
I did know
Yeah.
this. I knew this.
Yeah. So
Wow.
when I was little, my parents moved from New Hampshire to the Cape. I forget like how old I was, but I was probably like 4, maybe if I had to guess. But anyways, all I remember is like stuff on the Cape for the most part. I was too little to remember like growing up in New Hampshire, but I would say pretty much like I wasn't born on the Cape, but I was raised on the Cape. You know,
Got you.
so
What?
that's pretty much all I know.
All right. First, what is the Cape known for in general, and then what is the Cape known for anything in sports?
So the Cape is known in general as a place where people just go to vacation. But believe it or not, there are people that live here year round, myself included. So in the wintertime, it definitely gets a little quiet, but it's kind of nice because you're literally just going crazy in the summertime. Like literally like to go like 5 miles sometimes takes you like stupid amount of time. So definitely very seasonal. You know, you got the lobster rolls, you know, you got the beaches and all that stuff. It's very touristy. But you know, I like it. As far as sports wise, I wouldn't really say there's too much we're known for on the sports end. I mean, you got a couple schools every once in a while that'll compete for like a state championship or a Super Bowl and all that stuff. But I mean, it's not like, you know, you go like it's like Jay up by you, like Everett, like they're known as like a big time school. Like we don't really have anything like that down here. You know, I mean, heck, when I was playing high school football, my football team, my senior year was the first varsity season. So like we literally started from like square one, you know?
Oh wow.
Oh
So,
yeah,
I don't know if you guys knew that, but
we're gonna get to
So-
that. Yeah.
yeah.
I have a question about this then.
Yeah,
So-
shoot.
So your first 3 years of high school football, you played JV?
Well,
Like,
my
how's that
freshman year, I
work?
was on the freshman team. And sophomore year, I was on JV. And then my junior year, technically we played a JV schedule, but we did play one varsity game.
Oh, okay.
So we played one school that was varsity, so that was technically like the school's first varsity game. But the first full varsity season was my senior year. Just because before that, the school like didn't have like a football program. Like the school was literally like I was the second. Was it the second graduating class? I think I was the second. I can't. Part of like forgive me for anybody watching this that like went to school like and I should know this, but I don't right now. I think I was the second graduating class.
Oh wow.
So don't hold me to it, but
Yeah. Oh wow. That's interesting.
yeah.
I never heard of like a team not being varsity but still having a team. I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, because I guess before like you incorporate, you have to have a certain amount of like seasons. Like I think it's like 2 like seasons accrued before you can like go varsity. I think.
Okay. Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. So it's similar like in colleges when they make a new football team, they have to be a club team at first.
That or like if you jump divisions, like you can't compete in the postseason or something. You know, there's like all like the regulations and stuff, but that's kind of what it was like.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So, young Dombrowski, when did young Dombrowski get into sports? What was that like?
Well, I mean, you guys can probably feel this too, but like I feel like every kid, first thing they do is soccer, you know, and you're like, your parent just puts you out there. They're like, go kick the ball, run around, do whatever, you know, and it's just like that's your first organized like anything. And I hated soccer. Like I was like, what am I doing? I'll be the first to admit it. Like my parents probably would have no idea. Like that's how I felt, but I was like, it's like, what are we doing? You know? So, you know, my first season of football, I was 8, and I remember just being like, no idea what to expect, and like I don't know, but I started off playing football since I was 8, and played every year since then, and as much as I could, you know.
Man, you've been playing tackle since 8?
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
Yeah.
wow.
They had the Barnstable Silver Bullets was the youth program here.
Silver Bullets.
My man,
That's
my
fire.
man,
Silver
Tom
Bullets.
tough. Built
Yo,
tough. My man taking some hits.
Yeah, what position? What was your first position?
So my first year ever playing, I was actually a quarterback.
Oh,
And
from the jump.
Yeah, I remember just being like, first practice was like, I want to be a quarterback. Not knowing like really what that entailed, but I was like, I'm going to be a quarterback. And then from there, I played a little running back and, defensive back. And I remember one year, I think it was my second year I was playing, they tried to like move me to like offensive line. And I was God. This ain't going to cut it.
Why do they do that to kids?
I can't do this.
The time? Why do they do that to little kids all the time? If they don't know what to do and they put them on the line.
I think it was like one practice and I was like, I'm done. I remember going home. I'm like, I'm not doing it. And then from there, I was back to the skill positions. No offense, Jay.
Hey, when I first started playing football,
Jay was
I was a tight end.
Jay tight end.
I was a tight end. I was a skills guy for a little bit.
Yeah.
Technically.
Now, to my knowledge, when did you start? You also played baseball, right?
Yeah. So T-ball, all that, but I played baseball in high school too. And interesting story about my sophomore year of baseball. We'll get into that later on, but I would say baseball was probably like my favorite sport to play, just because it's like, obviously you get to like, when you're not in the game, you get to chill out and, you get the sunflower seeds going, so that was cool. But it's just like, I don't know. I like baseball a little bit more, but football is obviously, you can't compare that to anything else,
Yeah, man. Actually, similar story. I was a baseball guy through and through up until like middle school. Like you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to MLB as a kid.
What position you play? Outfield?
Nah, man. So in
pitcher?
T-ball I was a pitcher. In T-ball,
yeah.
Right? And then when I
wait, you was a pitcher in T-ball? What did you do?
So in T-ball, as the pitcher in T-ball, right? I don't know how they do it in your league number, but they give you a mask. You right there in the middle. You pretty much put your best player at pitcher, and as soon as they hit the ball, you go get it. Don't matter where
chase down the
you
grounders.
go chase that ball, and if he was fast enough, instead of throwing it to first, you run and tag him. Like
he just said unassisted out right there.
Yeah, I was the unassisted out person, and then it was that time when my pops realized he needed to play football because there was times where I was just like giving people the elbow, like I was like running kids over.
I can see that. But I can see that.
What was your? I mean, so okay, football wise, back in the day, who was your favorite player? Who was your favorite player back then?
I mean, this is gonna sound cliche as shit, but Tom Brady.
That's right. That's
ain't
right.
Nothing wrong with that.
They start winning when you was 8. That was like 03.
That was like 2000. I was born in 93, so like it was 2001, 2002.
Yeah, that was
so like
the same time they start winning the championship.
Yeah, one of my earlier memories is like I remember I don't know if you guys remember the Patriots season in 01, but like when Brady went down in the divisional playoff versus Pittsburgh and Bledsoe went back in.
Bledsoe came back, man.
Yeah, and I remember that touchdown pass to David Patton where he like jumped up top and like did the toe tap. I will forever remember that being like, oh shit, like Brady's down, Bledsoe's back in, like is he ever gonna play again? Like you know what I mean? Like I just that moment like stays with me forever. But like Tom Brady's my dude. Like I know it's a cliche answer, but like to do what he did is just insane. It's you got to respect it.
How about baseball wise? Who was the guy for you?
Nomar Garciaparra.
Wow.
Like for a couple years, he was that dude.
He was. I didn't know baseball at all, but everyone in Boston and Massachusetts knew who. I don't know how to say his first name.
Nomar.
Who that was. Nomar Garciaparra.
Yeah.
Nomar Garciaparra was. I knew who that was.
Yeah.
His shirts were everywhere. That was that guy.
I remember I won a poster at school and hung that shit in my room, like. And then obviously he got traded, but that was the end of that. But like for a while, he was that dude.
I mean, he was known everywhere. Like that, he was that guy.
Yeah.
Hey man, no, that's fire. That's fire. So when did you? So did you stay with the Cape Cod Sharks all the way up through middle school, all the way up to high school?
So it was the Silver Bullets.
Silver Bullets. My bad, G. My bad.
It's all good. They had like their everybody has their like age classes, like Pop Warner, it's like a certain thing, but they got like mites, like Pee-wees, pretty. It's not really politically correct now, but they got like a division called midgets and stuff. So like,
Yeah, I started in midgets. That's what I
you
started
know,
in midgets. Yeah, that is
but
not
They still do
politically
that. They
correct.
still call that. They still do that for
yeah,
hockey. Midgets. They
yeah,
still call it
same
that.
thing. But you had your age groups and stuff. So I remember, I think that went all the way up until 8th grade, and then
Mm.
from there you segue right into freshman football or JV if you're good enough and whatnot. But I played on the Silver Bullets in 8th grade, and that's where for a while, like I got out of the quarterback position, and like I was like a defensive back, and like just I think there's like one year where I was like a weak ass linebacker. So like my football journey, like in, like youth football, was kind of weird because like I didn't really feel like I had a true role and shit.
Mm.
So I remember going into 8th grade, I was like, you know what, I can throw. I want to be a quarterback, and I really didn't play much. There's this pretty good player at the time who ended up going on to the next level and stuff in college, but he was on the 8th grade team, and I remember like we made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Like I probably didn't play I didn't play for shit that year, but like I practiced, I threw, like it was still cool. Like I was like, if I'm gonna play, I want to be a quarterback. I don't want to do anything else. And I remember like we went to the Super Bowl and we literally got blown the fuck out. Like it was bad. Like I forget who we
Damn.
played, but I just remember
Man.
like getting destroyed. And at the end, they're like, "Rob, like you're in." I'm like, "All right, here we go." And I remember them calling this play where it was like a handoff, and I remember being like, "Nah, I'm gonna run the ball." So I like pretended to like hand off the ball and like fake fucked it up, and I just took off and like ran it just because I was like, "Fuck it!" Like I haven't played all year. Like
I'm getting
it's like, you know what I mean? I was like, I got nothing to lose. It's the last fucking game of the year. Like, if we're losing anyways, like, what's gonna happen? So I remember that, and I vividly remember that memory. But after that, then it was freshman football, and I
So
was
y'all
like,
was
fuck it, the season's over.
That's
all
the
right.
funniest story.
That's too funny though. That's classic.
You went in, I made sure to get yours. I had to get mine. Fuck them, I had to get mine. I ain't play all year.
Oh man. All right. So for that league, I like to get really into the youth league football. Who was like y'all? Who was
Yeah.
the team you hated playing the most? What was the team you hated playing the most?
Probably Bridgewater Raynham. They got a pretty good program pretty much every year. They were tough before like the 8th grade season. It was probably Marshfield, another bigger school. They had this one dude. I don't even know if he's even out there anymore, but this one dude, I remember his name, Brian May. The dude was a tank. And every game
In middle school?
we played, he just like, it was, I don't even know, man. My memory sucks on that end, but like, I just remember this every time we played him, like 3 touchdowns, like just running dudes over, like dragging piles. Like he was insane. I don't even know if he ever played like after like youth football, but Brian May will be forever etched into my brain.
Brian
like,
May.
Holy shit, this guy's like murdering people out there.
Brian May, if you hear this, dog.
Yeah. Respect, man.
To you. Oh man, what was the worst drill? What was the drill you hated doing the most? Back.
I mean, I feel like you might have a couple psychopaths out there that think it's their favorite, but if you truly liked an Oklahoma drill, you're insane. You know what I mean?
It was fun sometimes.
No.
Like, there's
No.
a couple psychos out there that are like, "Oh, this is my time to light them up." Like,
And
let me
I
just
play
do it.
defense. No.
Well, you
I
know what?
wouldn't do
For
that.
you guys, you fast fellas, it's probably sucked. For the linemen, it's like it's kind of fun. It sucks a
Linemen
little
aren't
bit, but it's
expected
kinda
to
fun.
like. Y'all not expected to make the
also-
play.
But
No.
also at the same time, have you ever tried to like physically push another man out of the way of you who's also trying to push you back?
Plenty of
It's,
yes.
it's not very enjoyable.
I enjoy
doesn't
that.
sound fun.
I enjoy that way more.
It's
Low key
very
than
tiring,
trying to be the
honestly.
one
Like
tackling.
it's exhausting. It's exhausting. You ever see when like linemen are just standing up at each other? No one's moving. You know how
And you both get
exhausting
tired,
it
and then you
is?
just like lean on each other, and
Yeah,
you're like,
it's like-
"I got you if you got me."
Like
Oh Lord!
I used to
Hey.
be watching the Oklahoma drills. Like, damn, you guys hit hard.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Oklahoma drill.
Hey man. Yeah, that's. Did y'all?
I mean, do they even do those anymore?
I think they do
like-
Oklahoma. I think they banned the Nutcracker.
What's the Nutcracker?
The fuck is that?
Why y'all
it might-
cracking nuts on the field?
It might be the same drill, but so Oklahoma to me is lineman, 2 linemen, and then you got your running back and the defensive player, right?
Yeah.
Then we
Yeah.
got Nutcracker, which 2 players just lay on their back, and when the whistle blow, you got to get up
I remember that one
as
too.
quick as you
That one
can.
kind of
Everyone has
sucked
a
as well.
different. Yeah, everyone has.
Everybody got a
name
different name for that. Yeah, we
Yeah.
called it
Yeah,
the
I hated
Nutcracker.
that drill. That's the worst fucking drill. Because if you fuck up, you're getting lit up.
You're already on your ass.
If
You just
you
get
get up
pummeled.
too slow, boy.
If you slip, just drop to the ground. Every time I slipped, I'd fall on purpose. I ain't getting lit up. That's hands down the
man.
worst drill.
I feel like you see those videos like around social media nowadays of like little programs just like doing that and
Yeah.
like coaches just setting kids up to get laid out.
I
And
know.
it's just messed up, man.
The
Yeah, it's
drills
so
look.
messed
You know,
up.
I feel like
you're
and
trying to build the game. That's not how you do it.
those drills got to
like-
be in a tighter space. Like they'll give these kids like 20 yards of space and then telling them to come. I'm like, bro, that's not.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
not
it.
safe.
That's
You're
not
just
it.
trying to screw up like a kid's confidence, and like you're never gonna get that kid back.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what made me quit Pop-1.
I've seen it happen firsthand. Like it's just like
I saw it happen to a girl. So it's bad.
I ain't gonna say it.
We ain't gonna get into that. We ain't gonna get into that.
I ain't gonna say it.
I'm just saying, when you see that shit scars you. Like see someone
check
get
this.
dismantled in an Oklahoma drill.
I gotta know now. So you played about 3-4 different positions. Why quarterback?
I would say I just always had like an arm,
Mm.
and that's what I was comfortable with doing. You know, with baseball, you know, never an issue. You know, I was a pitcher, catcher, you know, whatever, and I just always had the arm, and I was like, you know, I can throw it. Why do anything else? You know, and it was part of it too. Was just like, all right, you know, on the football field, like the quarterback, he's got the control. You know, he's the guy everybody looks to, and I was like, I'm okay with that. And you know, you might not know this about me, but I'm a pretty like introverted person, and like I don't really like to like engage like if I don't have to and stuff. So like just being the quarterback, I feel like a lot of it was just that like unwritten like I'm gonna do what I need to do, you do what you need to do, and like you know what I mean. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah, well, it's like you like to be like detached, disconnect yourself from people a little.
yeah, and it,
That-
you know,
the
you just make it
distance.
about what you're trying to do, and you know, obviously there's a lot of pressure that you put on yourself, which you know, if you guys know me, I'm a kind of a perfectionist in the sense of you know certain things, but I was just like, fuck it, I want to be a quarterback, you know.
How was your baseball career up to this point? So you was a pitcher, catcher.
Yeah.
First, I could never do the catcher. That was one thing. I was like, I'm not finna squat for hours on end.
Terrifying.
Can't get me to do that.
It could be terrifying.
Yeah.
Work up.
You
in
ain't
Little
had
League, I
no
was
crazy
primarily
injuries?
no.
Oh shoot.
No.
It never hit you in the thigh.
Oh, of course it did. I wouldn't say it's a
Never
crazy
get a-
injury. Like
get a
you gotta block
giant
the ball,
bruise?
you know.
You ever get
I
that
got
giant
like
bruise?
I got scars on my wrists and stuff from laces on balls and stuff.
Ooh.
You know, blocking them in the dirt. But in Little League, I was primarily like a pitcher and then like an infielder. I did do a little catching too, but this is just me. Like side note, I feel like all like the Little League kids now, like you look at them now with the skill level, and you're just like, I feel just the level of competition compared to like when we were growing up is like night and day.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like I feel like you could say that across like all sports, but like I remember Little League, like in my Barnstable Little League, there were so many kids that went on to play like major D1 in college. I mean, one of my teammates, Will Toffee, shout out to Will if you ever see this. He's literally in the minor leagues right now, and he got drafted, and he's living his dream. And his dad was my coach, and he was on my team. Like to say that is just so cool.
I
But
totally
the level of competition now, it's like just weak, you know.
I totally agree with you on that. I just feel like not a lot of kids just ain't even like trying to get out there no more. And then the kids that are getting out there, they just want to focus on celebrating or just think about the celebrations. They not worry about like how to actually play the game. And it's because I be coaching the flag football.
This changed everything,
Man,
you know.
it's crazy, yo.
Smartphones changed everything.
Hey,
It's crazy.
this is
I
ever
know,
since
like-
that video came out. I feel like this has been a huge topic of discussion. The video of the kids playing basketball and celebrating.
Oh, was that the one like from like 2 days ago?
Yeah, from a couple days
Yeah,
ago, the AAU
I saw
team.
that.
The kids,
Yeah,
like they're doing literally the celebrations they see in the NBA. And it's,
yeah.
if I ever dared to do that, oh my
Mm.
god,
You get
I
smacked on the back of the head.
I would what Coach Murphy used to say, run till your eyes bleed. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what would happen. That's what would happen.
yeah.
Man, that was
No, but
some very
it's
profound words, Dombrowski. I totally agree with you on that. I
yeah.
don't know, you know.
Or I gotta be a little bit of a contrarian here.
Yeah,
What if it's just we're just getting older and it just looks stupid to us?
That might be true. That I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't
What you
know
think,
what it
Dom,
is
bro?
because
I see the argument for both sides, but uh, I don't know, like because I also like umpired and stuff. Like after I went through little league and like I umpired little league, I umpired the next league up, the senior league and stuff. And it's just I remember being behind the plate and like watching these pitchers throw, and I'm just like, this is like your number one guy. Like this is who you put out in like a must win game. And like no offense to the kids, but it's like I remember, if you got a hit off one dude, it was like holy shit, like that was huge. And like
Wow.
it just the level of competition in that sense is like I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, I totally get your argument, Jay.
yeah,
I think it might be a little bit of both, but I don't
Dom,
know. I
bro
just don't
said,
think the
"This is your leader."
this is who you
but
decide to
it's
go
for
out
real,
there
man.
with.
That's crazy. I feel you.
Yeah. So
Same thing with football, though.
maybe also I have another counterpoint.
shoot.
What if it's just like we have a better eye for skill and ability?
What you mean?
Like we know, like when we were younger playing that shit, those kids, those number one guys, is like, oh, that's friggin', they're good. But now that we're adults and we've seen top tier skill levels, or at least higher skill level, and like, oh, they
Yeah.
suck.
I
So
don't know. I
like,
just
how
feel
do you
like
reckon?
you know a good player when you see one, regardless of the age. You
Yeah,
know a
just
good
based on how
player.
somebody moves, like what they do, how they carry
Yeah.
themselves. I mean,
Interesting.
granted, there's still kids that work like super hard and like do things the right way, and like you can tell the talent's there. But it just feels like there's more kids that are participating, and they're just going through the motions. They
Yeah.
don't have that extra drive or that it
Yeah,
factor, and I mean that may be biased, but like
I agree
and
with
I'm
everything
not
y'all
saying like I
saying.
was like the most
Yeah,
talented dude, but like when you're around people that are good, you like pick up on what makes them different,
yeah,
and it's just I feel like the kids these days you don't see that as much, you know.
Mm.
yeah. I agree with
So,
everything y'all saying. I just gotta ask these questions just to ask. To be
um,
honest.
Yeah, stir the pot.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
when you decided to play in high school? Was it just like this is just what I do, play football, or you was like, hey, I want to keep going?
I don't think it was ever a question of
Mm.
keeping on. Because I remember we had like freshman football tryouts. Like you had to try out for the team, just to
Freshman
like see
year.
what's what.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
What
And
high school you ended up going to? Barnstable first, right?
yeah, so my freshman and sophomore year, I went to Barnstable, which is the biggest high school on Cape Cod. And um,
That's a powerhouse
my
school, low key.
yeah,
When
there's
you
some good players that come out of
yeah.
there. I mean, they've been really good the last couple of years. They got a pretty good coach, good players. But my freshman year and sophomore year was at Barnstable. Junior and senior year, I was at the time it was Pope John Paul II High School. Like I said before, school that literally like just came about, and I guess we can get into it now, but I transferred after my sophomore year. We'll come back to the freshman football stuff, Ty. But my sophomore year for baseball for JV, I actually ended up getting cut.
Oh,
Like I didn't make the
What?
team.
what?
Yeah, I don't
Oh
know if you guys
wow.
ever knew that, but
Nah, no.
I got cut, and like that whole spring, I was just like so miserable. Like I just like wasn't engaging anybody. I was just like in my head, and I think at that point I was like, I need to change, and we looked into a couple options, and it just made sense. But we can kind of get into that a little bit later on. But freshman year, I remember going in for fall camp and like knowing people because like I went to another private school before, and then Barnesville for my 8th grade year. So like I had a lot of overlapping with two different schools, and like a lot of the kids I knew from growing up and local programs and stuff. But it was just never a question of do I play or not play. It was just kind of like assumed, and went and played quarterback, and it was fun. I mean, it was fun.
Your first high school training camp. What was that? What was
Yeah.
that like? It's a little interesting for most people.
Yeah.
How did y'all? Was y'all a sleepover or yeah?
No.
Go in the
So
morning?
it was all local at the high school.
Okay.
And ours was a little different because at the same time they were doing the varsity and JV too. So it was literally like they ran the practice almost as like, everybody's all playing at the same time. But like I remember they like sent the freshmen like off to the far field, like literally like as far as you can be. And then they had the JV and varsity doing their thing, but like we'd warm up all together and like do that shit. So I meant like literally on the field though, like you would be like a freshman next to like a senior warming up and doing like drills and stuff. So it's kind of cool because you can see like how they do it. Because I mean, silver bullets in the youth program, it's like you had a good idea what football was, but that's not true. Practicing and game planning and running plays and stuff, and it just opened my eyes to like, okay, this is the next level. There's so much more that goes on to it. And at that point, that was the first time they implemented the spread offense too. So like seeing that aspect of it, and
interesting.
My high
needless
school
to
did
say,
the same thing.
The freshman team couldn't handle the spread. Let's just say that.
They never can.
So, yeah,
Just
we
give
had
them
some
double
spread
teeth.
stuff, but some guys were just like couldn't comprehend like the mental part of it. And I mean, think about it. Like very few freshmen can actually like be key contributors to like the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So we were all just trying to figure it out, and we were screwing around and just trying to play ball.
So you was the quarterback. You was quarterback for the freshman team.
So they split time with the quarterbacks. They had this one other kid. So I did have like a little bit of a rotation thing going on, and same thing my sophomore year when I was playing JV. They had a freshman that came in who actually ended up going to Princeton on a scholarship to play quarterback.
Okay.
So he was like, I mean, granted it was like JV, but he was like 6'2", 6'3", 6. I don't think he was 6'4", but he was a tall kid, big kid, strong. And I remember they would change us in and out, and there'd be times where like, even in the middle of a drive, like I'm moving the ball and we get into like the red zone and they put him in on it. I just remember being like,
that's horrible.
like,
what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
And I get it. Like he's good. Like he's the future of your program. And here I am like, whatever. So I was just like, I just remember being so ticked off. And that shit like always stuck with me.
Yeah.
And but I finished out that year, and then like I said, then the spring after the football season, switching off the whole season, then going into baseball and then getting cut, I was just like, fuck, man, I need to make a change.
I
and
get
just
that.
I knew I could do it, and I just needed a fresh start, and I had to rebuild my confidence in myself, if that makes sense.
It's interesting listening to you. I just it's just crazy how important sports is, or sports was too. You know what I'm saying? Just and then you saying you being an introvert, and to be able to play sports is like, it sounds like just your way to, even though you was like not trying to connect with people, but that was how you connected with people.
That was how I made connections. Yeah.
So getting cut was like, I might as well just keep it pushing. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like, what am I doing here?
What am I can't do what I want to be doing. It's the only time I want to hang out with people. Now I gotta.
Yeah, and like all the kids that like I played on the freshman baseball team with. Fun fact: I remember trying out for my freshman year for baseball, and like the tryout went great. I was like, hitting just solid line drives after line drive in the batting practice, and I went on the team, and it was kind of an up and down year for me. But my sophomore year, when I tried out for the baseball team, like I couldn't hit shit. Like for whatever reason, like I just couldn't hit the ball. Like I had a couple good hits, but like I literally like remember there was like instances where I was like, just I couldn't do anything. And sure enough, like after that, I was like, I'm gonna get my eyes checked, and I needed contacts and glasses, so like I couldn't see the ball well enough to like to do what I needed.
Crazy.
So like I wear contacts to this day, and it's just like to pick up the spin on the ball and all that shit. And my junior season for baseball was one of my best seasons I ever had.
That's nuts,
in terms
man.
of contributing on offense, and I caught every single pitch for my team that year. And but like I had no idea. I was just like, I fucking suck. You know, I deserve to get cut. And so that was probably like one of the lowest points I had sports wise.
Man,
I remember like
yeah.
my mom thought I was joking. Like I literally get in the car after they posted the roster, like in the locker room, and looking and like not seeing my name and just being like, holy shit, like I don't even know like what to think. I literally get in my mom's van, like I remember this to this day, and she's like, how'd it go? Like, what's going on? And I was like, I got cut. And she literally started to laugh because she thought I was joking. And I was like, no, like I didn't make the team, Mom. And she was like, so that moment like just sticks with me, man. That shit sucked, but like, I mean, I just used that to like try and, you know, rebuild confidence in myself, I guess. I knew I could do it. It's just like, I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So
That's great to hear, because there's a lot of times people, when they get cut, especially that young, they just quit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
it
congrats
fucks
to
you up mentally, you know?
Yeah, because that really does. Because I've been cut in the past from basketball teams, and like
Yeah.
it does sit with you. So like, it's good. I never knew that you got cut from it. No
Hey,
wonder you had
Dombo.
like a little bit of a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
it.
you
Hey,
had a
look,
little chip on your shoulder. I could always
you're
tell when
amongst
you
the
played.
list of legends that's been cut from the JV team.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan
I
was
wouldn't go
cut
that
from
far.
the JV team.
Jalen West.
J. Cole
Oh,
cut from the JV.
Jalen West.
Jalen West.
Jehovah.
Just a list of legends. What was I going? Okay, so the decision to switch schools, how did this go with your people? I've never, like, I've never. That's something I've never done before. Like, how did that go? Did you find the school or?
So, at the time, so like I said, for football, I was at Barnstable still, finished out the whole season on JV. One of the coaches, um, his name's John Muldoon, one of the, biggest influences at, I would say, pretty much my whole life. But like at the time, like he was just so pivotal in kind of making me who I am. And he was one of the coaches on Barnstable. He ended up leaving Barnstable to become the head coach and athletic director at Pope John Paul.
Oh, okay.
And so like once I kind of saw that was going down, like that kind of put like the thought in my head. But from going to the private school and going to the regular school, like a couple of those kids went to Pope John Paul. And so I remember, scrolling on Facebook, seeing, them playing their first season of football. I was kind of just like, okay, like that might be interesting. And I even looked at a couple other schools, because on the Cape they have this thing called school choice, where it's like, even if you don't live in that town, you can still go, and whether it's a public school, private school, you can pretty much have like full reign of whatever you want to do for school.
Oh, wow.
And, I shadowed at Bishop Stang, which is like a school, like really like an hour away. My brother actually ended up going there. He's fucking crazy for taking that bus ride every morning, but shout out to him for doing it. Like I took that shadow day and I was like, I can't do this.
Oh,
that's
shadow
too
days,
much for me, man.
Shadow days were the best.
I never knew.
Yeah. So, but I was looking at all my options and I was kind of just like, it's a local school, I'm already really comfortable with the coach. And, we just made the decision to say like, because my parents knew I was miserable, man. I was just like not pleasant to be around. I was just in my head. And I think they knew that like we just had to do something, because like I couldn't keep on going down that path, man. And obviously going into junior year, and at the same time, remember in 8th grade, I told you about the quarterback who went on to, go to the next level.
Yeah.
His father was the head coach.
Oh, yeah.
I if I kept on playing football, I would have never seen the field. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just was like, just for the sake of it, even if like I wasn't even thinking about playing like at the next level at that point, I was just like, I want to just play, have a chance to have fun,
Big facts,
and do my thing. And just like it just for the best, and made the switch. And I think at the time it was probably one of the best decisions I could have made.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So you make the switch going into your junior year. Pope John Paul II, I believe, right? It's the second. Okay.
Yep.
Real quick. Yeah, no. What was the difference in facilities between Barnstable and Pope John Paul II?
Yeah. So so Barnstable, being the biggest school, is just massive. like you literally have so many different levels of, classrooms and sections of the school. And, obviously they got the big football field, basketball court, they got everything. It might not be the best of whatever. My wife's a Barnstable grad too, so she played sports there as well. But, it's definitely a completely different animal. You go to Pope John Paul and they basically moved into a school that was no longer in use. It was a middle school. And so like they redid like a bunch of stuff. Like a lot of it was still the original classrooms and all that, but like you could tell it was definitely a much older school. Granted, like I never had an issue with the facilities and, they had nice wood floors and, it was what it was. But, we didn't have our own, home football field. Every single game we played, that was a home game, we played at Mass Maritime, which was a college in Buzzards Bay, which is probably like,
you got to play
30.
on a college field?
Yeah.
That's
we played on the
tough.
turf, Mass Maritime.
That's tough.
So that was our home field. And on our practice field, we literally played on a softball field with a gravel infield. So you guys getting tackled in the gravel infield, getting it in your arms and cutting you up and like scraping you up. It was tough. So facilities wise, it was definitely a step down in that sense, but like it just was what it was. The school itself was just so small. I graduated in a 30-member class. Like I had 30 people in my class.
Hey man,
the graduating class. Wow.
That's new. That's fresh.
Wow.
What am I? Oh, so I had I don't know if Joel's interview is going to come out before yours or not, but when I was interviewing Joel, he was telling me that at the time he was in high school, they didn't do like mandatory off-season workout, off-season lifts. I'm just curious, what was y'all off-season like before training camp? Did y'all do things like winter lifts, summer 707s, things like that?
So good question. So my junior year going into it, I kind of like committed late to the process and signed on late to go to Pope John Paul. So really kind of like after a couple weeks after I made the decision to be like, all right, like we're doing this, that's when training camp pretty much started. So at that point, like I had been like, throwing the football a little bit. And I mean, you guys know me. I was never a workout warrior, I'll be the first to admit it. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really like lifting in that sense, but like the first, week of training camp, the first day of training camp was like really when I met the whole team,
Oh, wow.
And here I was, this kid coming in, like, I knew some of the kids from like growing up with them, but I hadn't gone to school with them for a while. And you guys know my buddy Jeff, who's one of my best friends. He ended up transferring from Barnstable too. So he and I were both kind of going into it. There's another buddy of mine, Andrew Eddy, who I, played Little League with. He was transferring into from Barnstable. So like I knew kids and like we were kind of in that same bubble of like our first year at the school, kind of playing football together. So like those first like 2 weeks of training camp before school opened up was huge for me because like I didn't know anybody at the school in the sense of, who my friends were and this and that. And, to be able to walk around the school and kind of get a lay of the land before school actually starts was like, it was invaluable to me,
That's awesome, man. So you said earlier that junior year was pretty much like, it was like pretty much JV playing JV.
So it was a JV schedule. Yeah. We played one varsity team. That year we went 8-1 as we should have. I mean,
did y'all beat the varsity team?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, they sucked though.
I mean,
so I mean, we should have won, but like they weren't the best team around.
So you guys are still a varsity team, just playing JV.
No, we played one varsity game, but we're a JV team the rest of the way.
Okay. Okay. So, are you after junior year? Are you thinking about recruiting? What's the college process like, or at that point?
Yeah. So it was one of those things where it was like kind of in the back of my mind, but like I was looking at it more so like, okay, these are my friends. We like playing football, and my buddy Jeff, he and I did a couple camps and stuff. And we did the overnight BC football camp. That was like super fun, but that was also like you have some literal monsters at that camp, just being like, holy shit,